The victims rescued by Detective Wolf is talking about the crime for the first time. It's raw, it's gritty, and it's terrifying. Here's Griff Jenkins.
It all started when I was fairly young.
Meet a typical teen from a wealthy Virginia suburb. We'll call her Courtney because we cannot disclose her real identity for her own safety.
I was about 13, and I got involved in the wrong crowd.
Like many teens, Courtney used the internet to meet people, unaware of the true risks.
He started off as a nice guy. He told me he would take care of me. He would be my best friend. He'd be there for me when I needed him.
But her dream boyfriend turned into a nightmare.
After a while, he began to get really controlling. He got me involved in drugs, really heavy drugs, and to the point where sometimes I'd come home and I didn't know my own family.
And that was just the beginning.
At what point did you start to begin to realize, hey, this guy is not a good guy?
Realized it one night when he kind of lured me out of my house to go to a party. He drugged me up without without consent from me, and he took me back in the room, and he just continued to have his way with me the whole time.
Soon after, Courtney found herself caught in the dangerous and terrifying world of human sex trafficking.
They would give me alcohol and they'd give me drugs, and they'd ask me to do certain things for them that I was never willing to do. And they were sex trafficking me to many of their friends.
A sweet teenage girl held captive in the basement of a house against her will.
I didn't eat for that week. Basically, all that was in my system was drugs and alcohol.
How did you survive?
A part of me didn't. Part of me died that day. Part of me still is dead from that.
Courtney was eventually rescued by authorities, but 6 months later, the unthinkable happened again.
The gang found out where I lived, obviously, and they would constantly, I guess you could say, check up on me throughout that 6 months. This time it was way worse because I guess they thought I snitched on them, but I didn't because I was too scared. But they didn't believe me.
What did they do to you?
They raped me, threatened my family, and just have their way with me. And I could do nothing about it.
After a week, Courtney was once again rescued, this time for good.
Did you talk to your mom about what had happened to you the first time?
I mentioned that I was raped, but I did not mention about the sex trafficking. I was too scared.
The crisis taking a toll on both Courtney and her family.
Our other children were threatened. They were held at gunpoint to not say anything.
Courtney told us that when she was rescued the first time, that she told you about the rape, but not the sex trafficking. As a mom, and you look back on that, what are your thoughts?
Regret that I didn't see more symptoms or warning signs sooner, and it's a regret that I will live with for the rest of my life.
It's been 3 years since Courtney was taken. Her captor has still not been prosecuted. The case remains open, but she's not letting fear get in the way of living her life.
I want them to know that you can pick yourself back up and move on. There is hope for you. There is faith. There's everything you need in just with your family.